Hey, I'm Nick and welcome to my kitchen. Today, we're making Michelina's Fettuccine Alfredo Gourmet. Following the heating instructions on the packaging, open the corner and pop it into the microwave for 3 minutes. As you can see, mine is still pretty frozen, so we'll give it a quick little mix and put it back in the microwave for another 90 seconds. Pull it out when ready and give it a good mix. And I have to say, this isn't half bad. In a pinch, it makes an okay lunch. Wasn't expecting it to be that, edible. But let me show you how to make it fresh. Making our noodles first, salt a large pot of water and bring to a boil. Add a package of dry fettuccine pasta and allow to cook as directed on the package. Mine was about 12 minutes. Taste for doneness, strain, and set aside. Next, we're going to make our Alfredo sauce. In a high-wall pan over medium-high heat, melt 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup of butter. This is going to give our sauce a Kardashian-level richness. Once the butter is mostly melted, we need to whisk in 1 cup or 16 tablespoons, whichever way you want to measure, of heavy 35% cream. Whisk until the butter and cream become one, then add a dash of nutmeg. Continue to whisk and bring the whole sauce to a simmer. Allow to cook for 2 to 3 minutes or until it begins to thicken. Kill the heat and mix in 1 cup of fresh grated Parmesan cheese. Don't use the freezer crap. Buy a block and grate it. You'll thank me for it. Once the cheese is fully melted, season with kosher salt and add the noodles to the pan. Mix thoroughly, making sure you coat every inch of noodle in the sauce. If you don't have a serving fork, use the just made up 2-handed tong technique to plate. Sprinkle with some parsley for the viewers, and mamma mia. Simple, quick, creamy, and rich, this fettuccine makes Michelina herself roll in an Italian grave. And I love this quick weeknight recipe, but I think we can take it one step further. Let's start by making our dough from scratch. Not my favorite method, but in a pinch, add 2.5 cups of 00 flour to a food processor equipped with a dough blade. Add 4 whole room temperature eggs, a generous pinch of kosher salt, and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Fasten the lid and turn on, let the machine do its magic. Dump the dough onto a floured work surface and begin kneading. Using the palm of your hand, push it down and forward, then pull it back onto itself, collecting all the little bits left on the table. Repeat this process until you have a soft, springy dough that resembles a ball. Mine definitely could have used a few more minutes, but I digress. Wrap in plastic wrap and set aside, allowing to rest for 30 minutes. Next, cut your dough into quarters or manageable pieces. If you can't find your rolling pin, use your hands to push the dough into a flat disc, making sure it's thin enough to pass through the pasta maker. On the lowest setting, begin passing your dough through the machine. Don't rush this or you risk pulling your dough in half. Once completely through, fold in the edges on itself, then fold in half. Realize that you have a bottle of wine sitting on the counter that you can use as a rolling pin, and flatten the dough until it can be passed through the lowest setting again. Repeat this process of passing it through, stepping up the numbers on your machine with every pass until you reach your desired thickness. On this machine, that setting is a 5. Next, pass your rolled out dough through the fettuccine cutter attachment. Toss in some flour to prevent sticking. Set aside, and there you have it, some fresh pasta. Now, let's prep our ingredients for our sauce. Start by mincing 3 whole cloves of garlic. Make close vertical cuts and 2 horizontal cuts and chop. Place your hand on the tip of the knife, rock the knife back and forth to get a nice thin mince. Using a sharp knife makes this easier. Chop 1 small onion into small pieces using the same cutting technique as the garlic. Vertical cuts across the onion and 2 horizontal cuts, then slice. We'll also need to thickly slice 1 pound or 4 large mushrooms. This will give us a delicious texture. Next, we need to prep our chicken. Using a cutting mat for easy cleanup, cut 2 whole chicken breasts into even slices. Try to cut roughly the same thickness to help the chicken cook evenly. In a nonstick pan over medium-high heat, heat 2 tablespoons of oil. Add our chicken and season with kosher salt and pepper. Cook until completely cooked through and there's no more pink in the middle. An easy way to check this is using the tip of your spoon, cut a piece in half and check for doneness. Once done, remove and set aside. In the same pan, add 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of oil. Once the butter is melted, add the mushrooms and begin to sweat. After about 2 to 3 minutes, add our chopped onions and begin to cook out the moisture from the mushrooms. An easy way to help this process is to add a pinch of salt. Continue to cook until the mushrooms look almost done and the onions begin to take on some color. Add the garlic and stir continuously until fragrant, about 30 seconds. quick wrist flick for showmanship, and we're ready to add 3.5 cups of half and half cream. This recipe from Natasha Krevchuk has changed my opinion on what cream is best to use, and I find that the 10% cream isn't as thick, but makes the whole meal a lot lighter. Allow this to simmer for 8 to 10 minutes until the sauce begins to thicken. Be sure to stir it every once in a while. Add our chicken back into the pan and cook for another minute or so until the chicken is completely coated. Remove from heat and set aside. Now we have to cook our fresh pasta. Once again, salt a large pot of water and bring to a boil. Add our fresh pasta and cook for 2 to 3 minutes max. Now we're ready to assemble this meal. Just like before, add our pasta to the pan and mix to coat. Plate a healthy serving, making sure you get some chicken and mushrooms, sprinkle with parsley for the fans, and voila, a completely from scratch Chicken Fettuccine Alfredo. Be sure to try this at home. If you like this video, smash that like button and please subscribe.